Welcome back to Down the Track. This is the player ratings for the match between KKR and Mumbai Indians. Finally, KKR have beaten Mumbai. I think it's like 22. It was
Out of
22-6.
28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! And finally, it's happened. And fantastic for KKR. I just want to say that the brand of cricket that their captain and coach have endorsed, it was criticized. There was a lot of criticism. They were saying Sack Morgan, bring Karthik back, but it's paid off today. When you beat a champion team like so convincingly, it showed that the brand has paid off. I have with me my co-host. What's up, bro?
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I mean, when this brand of cricket clicks, it looks the best brand of cricket ever. Like, the absolute the way Venkatesh Iyer went along with the way Rahul Tripathi batted, that fearless
Yeah.
cricket. It's always it's been England's style for the longest time. It's been Brendan McCullum's style for the longest time. Sometimes it won't pay off, but they back that brand of cricket, and I think this KKR team should back themselves to make the playoffs after these couple of very interesting, very convincing victories.
Yeah, and especially when you're in this position where you're like seventh place, you need to win like this, right? And the only way you're going to win like this is if you play super aggressive and take a risk. So finishing off the game with 5 overs to spare, then the way they beat RCB the other day, it just goes to show that if you play this, when you're stuck in a position, it becomes a positive in a way because you're forced to play in a style, a risky manner, and it pays off.
And two very big wins, so it helps their net run rate also. The first one they finished in 10 overs. This one I think it was with 15 overs. 15 overs. So they
Yeah,
have like a good net run rate going as well. So they can actually back to make that third or fourth spot now, because
100.
Delhi and CSK are running away with it. It's between Bangalore, Mumbai, Kolkata is in the mix now. Rajasthan after that win is somewhere in the mix now. So it's
Definitely.
going to be interesting still.
Yep, definitely. Let's go with. I'm going to give you the winning team today for a change. So
Thank you
let's
so
start with
much.
that. Let's rate the KKR team. Should be fairly easy for you, but let's go with Shubman Gill. He looked good while he was there, but then got a good delivery from Bumrah.
And it was a nice slow incoming delivery. So sometimes you get outfoxed by that. But the shot that he hit of Adam Milne, was it that of square leg? Oof, what a shot! He is such a class player. He's such a class player. I just want him to improve his consistency a little. In today's game, I'll give him a 5 because I wanted him to go on, because the Venkatesh Iyer on the other side was making him look mediocre. But I feel like there's so much talent in this boy. It just needs some consistency over there.
Yeah, and I think the right left hand will help him a bit more because and the way Venkatesh Iyer plays, it'll take some pressure off Shubman Gill, especially the talk about strike rate. So I think this is the
Absolutely.
time for him to shine. And Venkatesh Iyer, the man of the moment, out of nowhere, out of the blue, the man's done the MBA. His mom's telling him to play cricket. He wants to study, but like he's killing it right now.
Man, when I was hearing the commentary, I was just like, "Wow, this is just complete opposite of every other Indian mom, or the way studies is treated and everything." It was great to see that. And apart from that, he finished his MBA. He got a job at Deloitte. I'm told. Harsha Bogle was
Yeah.
mentioned in the commentary. Unbelievable. I mean, he can do two great things. Being in Deloitte is great enough, and then to be able to play cricket the way he is playing, to be able to hit Bumrah, Rahul Chahar, and a pretty decent Trent Bolt, these kind of decent bowlers. Hats off, man. He is quite a revelation, and a perfect time to do it because you might get the big bucks now in the auction, even if KKR can't hold on to him. So he's probably gonna go for a fair amount of money, which is good for him. So
Yeah.
yeah, for this game, I think a 9 on 10, because I thought he was phenomenal in the start,
Nine on
especially.
9 on 10, and you can tell that he's a McCullum player. Like
Yeah,
McCullum is the one who he's grooming him, and he's going to mentor him. You can just tell it's
yeah.
very aggressive. And Rahul Tripathi, normally we see him anchoring innings, but today he played his shots. He didn't get bogged down. Very crucial because when you come after such a good start, sometimes you can get bogged down and put pressure on the non-striker.
I really like this kid. I mean, he's actually been very. You notice every time, when KKR wins, when they lose, I feel like there is something about this guy. He's also a very Brendan McCullum kind of player. He'll go for it. He could get out some days, but he will perform this kind of. He will give you these kind of scores as well. A 74, was it, or 42 balls, 176 strike rate, consistency. That, and he's been able to really, after that really good start, he like you said, he didn't get bogged down. He was able to continue rotating the strike, get the big shots whenever necessary. If there was, he never let the pressure get on KKR, and that's why they were able to finish it so convincingly. An absolute man of the match performance. My first 10 after the restart.
Whoa, amazing. 10 for Rahul
Rahul
Tripathi,
Tripathi.
and I completely agree with you there. Owen Morgan, not much with the bat, but if you want to rate his captaincy.
I think his captaincy again, he's been phenomenal because Mumbai got off to a good start as well. You remember with Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma, they actually got off with a good start, but they hung in there. His bowling changes, his spinners were able to the spinners were able to flow stem the flow of runs, and then the fast bowlers in Prasidh Krishna, and then they came back and got those important wickets. So he's an incredible captain. I've always said this. He has a World Cup behind him. He doesn't have an IPL trophy behind him. I think that's one of the things he'll be gunning for. So, oh, actually, he does. He has one with Sunrisers. The 2016, I think he was with the Sunrisers at the time. So never mind. But I think as a captain, it would be nice to have a IPL trophy as a captain. So, very very good captaincy as expected from Ian Morgan. I'll give him an 8 on 10 for his captaincy only. His batting still has something left to be wanted.
Yeah, I think that was the difference. I said it in the earlier show that if you look at the opening bowlers, he used 3 spinners, whereas Rohit used 3 fast bowlers, and the average economy of the spinners was 5, whereas the average economy of the fast bowlers was 10. So
Yeah.
that's where the game was probably won or lost. So yeah, brilliant captaincy. I agree with you. Nitesh Rana not available.
Yeah, I think he scored the 5 runs that he gave in his first over, so we'll just give it a not available.
Good catch there. Andre Russell, slightly expensive, couldn't get those jokers in properly today.
That's the kind of you'll expect that from Andrew Russell every now and again. He's that kind of a cricketer. He's last game was great. This game, it's not easy to get those Yorkers in at all times. For today's game, only I'll give him a 5. But I think you can just call it a one-off and move on from here.
Yeah, sounds good. And then Dinesh Karthik not available. I'm
Not
guessing.
available. Yep.
And then moving on to Sunil Narayan, bowled really well.
He bowled well. He actually picked up the wicket also. When the runs were going slowly but surely, he was able to get the breakthrough in a very important time, I thought. And an economy of 5, I think. Yeah, 5. So yeah, I think he's just been one of those guys. He hasn't been selected for the World Cup with West Indies, so he's probably has a point to prove. But
Surprising.
he's a quiet and cricketer that goes about his business. There was a lot of criticism because he was being used as a pinch hitter and it wasn't working out. So there was a lot of criticism. There's a lot of talk about it. I think they've gone back to him being number 8. That's his perfect spot now. I think that pinch hitting style of thing is done. It worked out very well in previous years. But I think number 8 with the kind of bowling that he gives you, 4 overs, 20 runs, 1 wicket, perfect. Another very good performance. I'll give him a 9 on 10.
9 on 10. And then the man that I really, really like, I've hyped him a lot. And I think the fact that he's getting regular game time now, not competing with Cummins, Lockie Ferguson, it's really paying off for him and he's bowling brilliantly.
He has been again sensational. I mean, I think look at the Kiwi bowlers. Like they every single bowler is actually like you see Trent Bolt for Mumbai. He's a prime bowler. Lockie Ferguson now for KKR. He's a prime bowler. All these New Zealand Kane Williamson for Sunrisers. He's a prime batsman. All these Kiwis are they have become very prime part of the franchises that they face. Not everyone is in the team, of course, but these 4, 5, 6 important players are all part of the team, and they become prime players for their sides, for their franchises. So it's always nice to see. And Lockie Ferguson has been one of those bowlers that has unfortunately gone under the radar a little bit, so to say, because not everyone out of the Bolt and Southie, you forget that Lockie comes in after them and really keeps the pressure on, and he's been phenomenal. Again, 2 wickets for 27 runs, another 9 on 10 performance. I'm really looking forward to what this guy can show in the future as well.
Yeah, and the ability to bowl 146, then next ball 120 is really big. Yeah, it makes it really difficult for the batsman. And then moving on to Prasidh Krishna, bowled quite a few extras today. Tried a bit too much, I felt, and maybe should have slowed it down. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the wickets. He's that kind of a bowler that will every now and again be expensive, but I think he always has those wickets in the wickets column. And I think the only thing was what he went on and tried to have beef with the wrong man. I think Karen Pollard I think Karen Pollard got into his skin, and that's usually not a good sign. He's probably one of those guys you don't want to mess around with too much, in my personal opinion. I think then that gets in your head, and then the too many wides and stuff like that. But he will always get you the wickets, so I'll be a little bit lenient on him. I'll give him a 6.5 because I think the wickets is always important.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then the last one, Varun Chakravarthy, very good economy rate again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and he's taking those important power play overs also. Every 1 or 2 overs in the power play. It's not easy when you have only 2 fielders outside the ring. So he's been good. He didn't pick up any wickets today. That's why I'll give him a 7. But I think he's complementing the others very well.
Yeah, that wraps up the KKR
Yep.
ratings. You can ask me for
Was
Mumbai Indians, defending
was
champions.
Yep, the defending champions with a risk of not making the playoffs. That's been their style, hasn't it? If
Yeah,
they don't become champions, they don't even make the playoffs.
yeah, that's what it
But
is.
let's go, Rohit Sharma, captain back.
Initially, he looked really good, man. Like, it didn't look like he had an injury. He was batting well. I think he was finding the boundary. But as the case with Rohit Sharma, like sometimes he gets he plays quite a few dot balls, and that puts pressure. Like even if he's hitting the boundaries, his strike rate doesn't increase because he's playing too many dot balls. I would like to see him rotate the strike a bit more. I know it's a bit more difficult in the power play, but uh, there's something that he can work on. But all in all, I'm not going to criticize him too much. I think 6 on 10 performance because I'm taking a mark down for his captaincy. I felt that he could have got spinners into play a bit earlier, slowed down the game a bit more because 150, yeah, it looked like a very low score at the end, but there was something to play with. I think he could have tried a bit more as captain.
I agree. Quinton de Kock, continuing with
Uh,
the run flow.
Yeah, he's brilliant. It's just that when he's set, you expect him to bat on. That's one criticism I would give of him. But otherwise, he looked good. He looked good. And if you can continue to give starts like this, you can't really criticize him because you need the other batsman to step up as well. So if he continues to give starts like this, it'll be good. But when he's in a position like this next time, he would like to bat till the 20th over. We've seen Rahul do it. We've seen Virat Kohli do it at times. These opening batsmen play till the end. That's something that Quinton should probably look to do as well. 8 out of 10.
Fair enough. Surya Kumar Yadav suddenly looking out of sorts.
Yeah, poor, very poor. I don't know. He's struggling also. Normally, like, if he does get out early, he'll hit 2, 3 boundaries and get out. He's not even getting those. Struggling a bit, these UAE pitches, but also previously as well, I think he hasn't looked in the best of forms. And that's something, it's a concern. Maybe just take his time, rotate the strike a bit more, play single, double before playing the big shot. And then let's see how it goes. But yeah, he's looking out of touch right now. I'm going to give him 2 on 10 because he should have after that platform, it was his duty to take this innings forward and take it to a score of around 180.
Yeah, I agree with you. Moving on, Ishaan Kishan. One nice
Same
shot,
like
but
last time. Yeah, same like last time. One nice shot, and then he got settled in. 14 of 13. He's more settled than Surya Kumar, but then gives away his wicket. And although Ferguson bowled really well to him,
yeah.
but he has to learn. These two have to learn because they were the key last season for Mumbai. Both these two players, and they're match winners. So at least if one of them is in form, it'll help. Otherwise, it'll be difficult for them. I'll give him 3 on 10.
I think also with Indian cricket, the middle order, these two probably are important aspects of that middle order for Indian cricket as well. So
Absolutely.
that's something that they'll have to look into. If they're not able to perform in these UAE pitches, then there'll be questions about their selection in the Indian team as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But moving on to Karan Pollard.
Pollard, I think he looked good. Unlucky to get run out, but just couldn't provide that extra thing. But he tried his best. Hit a 6, couple of 4s. But yeah, it was like I think he needed a bit more deliveries. Maybe send him up the order and I see him above Ishaan Kishan. Maybe sometimes a switch in position can help Kishan's form as well. But yeah, I'm gonna give him 5 on 10.
Fair enough. Krunal Pandya a little bit lackluster with the ball today.
Yeah, but lackluster with the ball, even with the bat. Like okay, he didn't have that many deliveries, but yeah, that's something. It's been a worry though. Those three the batsmen, including Hardik Pandya, who's not playing now, but that's been a worry for Mumbai this season. Like the middle order has not been performing, and then Krunal, you expect him to take a couple of wickets. I think his economy was still decent. 8 is okay compared to the others, but yeah, maybe the odd wicket. I'd be more critical of his batting. I would like him to take more onus over there. So Krunal Pandya, I don't know. I'll give him a 4 on 10.
Fair enough. Saurabh Tiwari.
Not available. Just his one boundary. Yeah.
This is the one important boundary.
He was padded up, I think, since like the first wicket, but he didn't. Like the third or fourth over, he was padded up, but he didn't get batting.
Yeah, the poor guy. He gets used. He gets used around whenever there's an injury. He always comes in and plays a couple of games here and there, but never really a starting 11, so to say. But moving on, Adam Milne got crashed.
Pasting. Both the New Zealanders today just didn't get the start that they did against CSK, and surprising because it was two youngsters who took it to them, and just one of those days for him. And it's been a while since Milner's been hit this much, so he'll come back strong. I'll give him 4 on 10.
Yep, I think so. I think Rahul Chahar after that.
Rahul Chahar not picking up wickets. I know there's the tough cotton bowl, but apart from that, he's not producing those wicket-taking deliveries that we saw him do in India. I think he bowled exceptionally well in India, but those pitches were more conducive to spin. They're assisting. Here right now, it's not those low, slow pitches right now. They're still quite fresh. So how to bowl on these pitches, it's a different kind of challenge. Maybe use a bit more variation. Maybe your length as well. Have a check on that. There's something that he will have to work on. But quite expensive. I'll give him 3 on 10.
And also, I think the fact that he's been picked over Chahal in the Indian team is something that I don't know if that's going to bog him down or what, but it's something that he's probably thinking about as well. But he's going to have to get those wickets because he's the only wrist spinner that the Indian team has, and even Mumbai Indians for right now. And
Yeah.
even moving on to Jasmine Boomera, who's been the only guy with the wickets in the wickets column.
Yeah, he bowled those wicket-taking balls were amazing, but he did get hit, right? Like he did get hit. I think that just goes to show to two batsmen, like they're hitting international bowlers like this. Bumrah is one of the best bowlers going on in the world. To hit him like that's not easy. Bumrah has had a tendency this year. It could be fatigue as well, for sure. He's been playing so much cricket that he will have off games, and you might see this a bit more regularly. Normally, we don't see Bumrah going for these runs, especially in the IPL. You don't see him, but this season I saw him even in the first leg got hit quite a bit against Chennai when number 3 Raidu got after him, and again today these two youngsters got after him. He got the wicket, so he has that fight in him. But I think fatigue is a factor here, and that's something I would really like him to get rested a couple of games for sure. I'll give him a 5 on 10 because he picked up 3 wickets, but it was generally a 4 on 10, 3 on 10 performance. So I'll give him 5.
Yep. And then lastly, Trent Bolt.
He got smashed 2 overs, 23 runs out of the attack. I haven't seen this in a long time where Trent Bolt gets out of the attack. He does get hit in the death overs because he doesn't, that swing gets cut and stuff. But in the new ball, especially in UAE pitches, I haven't seen him get hit like this. And something he'll have to come back strong on. I will have to give him a 3 on 10 as well.
Yep. I think that wraps it up. There's just one thought that the commentators were talking about. I think it was Harsha Bhogle, if I'm not wrong. But the likes of KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, who else is there? Prithvi Shaw, these established Shikhar Dhawan, these established openers are getting a lot of pressure right under their belly with Rituraj Gaikwad, Devdutt Padikkal, now Venkatesh Iyer. All these guys consistently scoring good runs against good bowlers.
Yeah, 100%. It's just that I always feel that when you play in Indian colors, it's still a way different challenge. I don't know why. It's that added pressure. Also, the fact that, right now, Venkatesh Iyer, he has the license. The coach has given him the license. Whereas when he's playing for India, he's going to be coached differently. And he knows that one bad game, there's 10 other openers. KKR, he knows even if he fails every single game, he can continue to do this, play the same way. So I think that less of a pressure. Yes, it's the same bowling. It's international bowling, but that pressure that you get in an Indian team, it's a bit more different. And the likes of Rahul and stuff have handled it a bit more. That's why I would still stick with them. But of course, they will be under the pump if they go out of form. Then the likes of Gaikwad and Venkatesh Iyer will definitely be given a chance.
And Padikkal also, he's also been
Padikkal
there and thereabouts. And
but you've seen as well with Shubman Gill, he looked so good in Australia, but then he got found out in the
England series. Yep.
In the England series. So that's something that they also have to work on. Venkatesh Iyer right now, there's not much studies on him. When he gets into the international stage and everything, can he maintain that? I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying that is the challenges that you face when you become an Indian cricketer.
Absolutely. But I think this is good for Indian cricket to have so much talent coming in. Every year you see 1 or 2 really shining stars, and I think this time it's been Rituraj and now Venkatesh Iyer.
Yeah, I would actually like to see, what will be the icing on the cake, to see these players going and playing in different leagues in different conditions, especially in T20. Because
I wish the BCCI allowed it. They don't allow it.
We've talked about it. We talked about a lot of times, but in T20 specifically, if you want your T20, because you can focus on your Test cricket with all your senior players and everything, but you can generally develop a young Indian T20 team, but they're only playing in India or in UAE. If they go to Australia, play the Big Bash, they play in England, NatWest, all these different conditions. Then how the West Indies do it. That's why West Indies, you say they're crazy, but they play cricket all around. So when you're not playing Ranji Trophy or when you're not playing thing, go and play these kind of leagues. That's what I feel.
I think instead of I'm not taking anything away from the fact that they have these what is the Nithadas Trophy and all these Mushtaq Alis and stuff. Instead of that, just send them out and play. Let them play out there. That would
give them. Yeah, that will help them because a year now, if you take him to Australia, will he play the same? Will he play the same in England? We don't know. In South Africa, will he play the same way? We don't know, right? So that's something that they might have to look at, but we can't really judge unless it really happens. But you're right, there's a lot of talent coming in.
Yeah, the topic's for another day and a completely different podcast, I think.
Yeah, no, but it's a good discussion. Just finally, I just want to ask you, tomorrow is captain versus ex-captain, mentor versus mentee, Kohli versus Dhoni. Your quick
Dhoni.
prediction. Yeah, if I just look at it very quickly, Chennai are too stacked. If you they're in form. Bangalore are coming out of a very poor game, and they rely on 4 players. So that's
Absolutely.
something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun game, though.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was a very fun discussion, and I will catch you tomorrow.
Take care.